Hi everybody, it's Stephanie. Happy July 4th. I hope you guys are having an awesome 4th of July. I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying this nice day with family and friends. As for me, I am just leaving work. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. If you're new visiting my channel for the first time, if you find something or see something that resonates with you, please consider subscribing. If you do, don't forget to hit that bell so you get future notifications of all my uploads. We'll be right back with more. Hi guys, so today's subject is going to be, what does love mean to you? When you're in a relationship and you love someone, what's that love like to you? What are your responsibilities in a committed relationship that what explains love to you? Is it being faithful? Is it buying your girlfriend or your boyfriend flowers on a weekly basis? Is it enjoying a special day together, like maybe her birthday or a Valentine's Day or an evening out dining and having a romantic night? What is love to you? Does it mean sharing household duties to you? Do you use the word love every day in your relationship, saying, honey, I love you, I'm glad to be part of your life, and I'm happy to be in your life? What does it mean? Is it having children together, sharing the same goals? What does love mean to you? Is it getting married and being in this marriage for health or sickness until death do you part? Is it spending a 2-week getaway on a luxury romantic cruise? Or simply spending your days at home enjoying one another? Okay? What is love? And if you don't feel love, can you still do those things I described? And if it's not love, why not? Some people don't know what love is. When I was growing up, I wasn't sure what love was. I didn't know if it meant just finding someone to get married and that you have a common goal with and start a family and have the white picket fences. I was raised in a dysfunctional family with my brothers and sisters, and witnessing my parents, their relationship, like a roller coaster, up and down. My father had extramarital affairs in his life. If you witness something like this in a dysfunctional family, do you think that affects your life and how you treat someone that you're spending your life with? Yeah, I think so. I think because my father had extramarital affairs, it made my mother a not very happy person. But she was still very faithful to him in all the 50 years they've been married. Was it a positive, happy 50 years? I would say it was probably 75-25. 75% not being that great, 25% being okay. I can honestly say, being a witness on the opposite end of that, I would say that it affected my life. It did. Because when I saw my father treating my mother certain ways, I thought that that's what a relationship or a marriage is supposed to be. So I was totally wrong. The way that my mother was treated affected her and how she treated myself and my brother. You see, my mother also came from an abusive family. She was raised in a very abusive family, physically and mental. That by itself, together with my father's extramarital affairs, didn't make her the best mother. She was a good wife, but she wasn't the best mother because her family didn't know how to express love to her as a child. My mother and my father were not raised in a wealthy home. I'm European descent. My parents were raised and born in Portugal, where they had to work at a very young age. My father didn't have the education that they have here. He finished his education, but in the country of Portugal, the highest grade was like the 6th grade or the 4th grade or something like that. The schooling system in most countries are different than the US. And back in Portugal, there was no such thing as college. They couldn't afford to go to college. So they were working very, very young age. And finally, when my parents brought the whole family over to this country, my parents went to go work directly in a factory. My mother was a seamstress, and my father was also a seamstress, but he later was promoted to the management level, where you have to applaud him, because my parents came to this country very poor. They couldn't even afford to pay for their trip here. My grandparents had to all work overtime in factories to save the money to get the entire family here. So there was a lot of stress in my family when my brothers and sisters was growing up. So my father was a manager in a textile company and my mother was a seamstress. Immediately when I got out of high school and worked several jobs, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't even know what I wanted to do in college, even if my parents could afford to get me to go to college. They couldn't afford it anyway. My case was a little different than most teenagers growing up in America. With me and my personal issues as a trans person and living in this conundrum where I didn't know whether I was a boy or a girl, made it that more difficult because a lot of my my mind, in my mind's thinking process was, I went through high school like a lost soul. Didn't know how to present myself. And that disturbed my thinking to have a career-oriented mind as to what I want to do with my life and what do I choose as a career if I can go to college. So I went into the military. When I came out of the military, I worked with my father and my mother in this factory for about 3 years. And one day I finally woke up, I said, I gotta find a better job. And that's what I did. But let's go back to the conversation and point. My parents struggled to make a living in the US. And it's a good thing that it wasn't today's standards where an apartment costs in excess of $2,500 a month. Back in the 1970s, my father were paying $50 a week for rent. $50 a week. As you know, right now, I'm renting and I'm paying $2,260 a month for my rent. So you can imagine the stress of two young parents with children trying to make ends meet and paying all the bills. It was difficult. Could all that stress have caused my father to stray? Okay, that's very possible. But then again, Portuguese men are known to be to cause extramarital affairs. So much so that I have a half sister. Okay? And these things didn't go unnoticed. So, and my mother knew that something was going on. Could she have been unloving to me and my brother because she wasn't happy with my father? She spent most of the time with us at home, cooking and cleaning and showing us entertainment. My father would drop us all off at the beach with my mother and he would take off. My father had a lot of friends, and his way of communicating was to have a sense of humor with his friends. If he was in high school, he would be the class clown. He would be the one making everybody laugh. And his personality attracted a lot of people. So he made a lot of friends. And most of his friends were just like him. Cheating husbands. So, if I'm raised in a family, in a dysfunctional family, and my mother didn't know how to show me love because her parents and family didn't know how to show her love, and they were physically and mentally abusive with her, she can transfer that over to the children very easily and think that it's perfectly normal. And these things, if they go through life without any family counseling, it's very likely that the children can repeat this process with their children. Fortunately, I was never, ever abusive mentally or physically with my son. My biggest challenge with my son is acceptance that I'm a transgender parent and I don't feel like he accepts me. So our relationship is ruined beyond comprehension. Right now, I'm just living my life without him in it because he chooses not to be. But let's talk about the effects of my parents and my transgenderism in my love life and the people that I dated since 2011. Okay? For 10 years after my second divorce, I didn't date anybody. And the reason why I didn't date anybody was because my transition was not complete. How am I going to explain to someone that I'm a woman and I still have my male appendages between my legs? Sure, facial wise and physically, I had woman attributes, but I didn't have my female anatomy that I do have now, which is cosmetically enhanced. That means through surgeries. Even if I was totally accepted as a trans woman, I would still have some remnants of the abuse that my parents had on me. The effects of how they had on me would be emotional and mental to me. I became a very shallow person and a bit of a narcissist growing up. In some ways, when I was young, I learned how to be funny, how to make people laugh when I was in school and during my young adulthood. Why? Because it helped me to make friends easily. But it didn't do anything for contributing to an intimate, loving relationship with the women that I dated. Okay? As you know, being a trans woman and you're on the female hormones, you do develop an attraction for men. Because before transitioning and before coming out to my family, I had no attraction to men at all. And when I came out to my family and began my transition, I started to feel a sense of attraction towards men. And I experimented dating men, but it wasn't working out for me. Number one, because some men were not attracted to trans women. Only a small percentage was. And when that small percentage did accept me, I didn't have enough experience to date them or even act around them. I found the men I dated, which was only 2 or 3, to be very controlling. And me being a little bit of a narcissist, it turned me off. I didn't know how to be myself because I didn't have that much experience as a woman to communicate with men the right way. Okay? I used to be a little bit of a control freak in my life, so I couldn't date people that were superiority controlled more than me. And I didn't want to be told what to do or how to act by a guy I'm dating. So after I dated about 4 guys or whatever, I decided I'm going to stay with women, because all my life I dated women immediately, like after high school, and that's what I felt more comfortable with. But whether you're dating women or men, if you are a little bit shallow and you tend to see people only on the surface, then you're missing them as a person as a whole. That means you're not really looking at their heart and their true intentions you're judging them only by the surface, whether they're attractive, whether they're tall or short. And that's the wrong way to find the right people for you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't date people you're attracted to, but if you have the same goals and purpose in life, and you guys match on more than one areas of life, then something can happen. Then you can have a loving relationship, that could lead to falling in love. With me, I saw falling in love, and I caved in far too quickly just for the purpose of having somebody in my life. And that's wrong. And that could have been the reason why my relationships didn't last very long after my transition. Before I transitioned, I had no problem dating at all. Why? Because before my transition, having my birth gender, I felt no stress. I felt no pressure from society. I felt accepted. I felt like I fit in on the grounds that, hey, I looked and acted like everybody else. But even then, because I wasn't happy with myself, even though I had no problem finding a relationship, I wasn't happy in my skin. And because you're not happy in your skin, then who are you trying to satisfy? I was trying to satisfy subconsciously society, my family, my siblings, my friends, my parents. Because in their eyes, I look normal. And because I look normal, I fit in. But the only person that wasn't happy in those relationships was me. I was miserable. I was miserable. How can you live your life in society, appear to be happy and appear to have it all, a good job, a good income, a good wife, a good home, and not be happy? Because your true self supersedes everything. Being your true self supersedes everything. And if you're not your true self, nothing, no matter how hard you try, is going to pan out or work. And I didn't do it just once. I did it twice. My first relationship that was very serious, that led to a marriage, lasted 10 years. Lasted 10 years. And I wasn't happy. I was attracted to my wife, physically and mentally, but I didn't like myself. If you don't like yourself, how can you actually love and like your wife and be in a harmonious, peaceful relationship? It doesn't work. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you pretend to be a father or a mother, you're lying to yourself. And also, even though I was blending in with society and my family, I didn't know how to love my wife. I didn't know how to appreciate my wife, because everything that happened with me was on the surface. Okay? On the surface, everything looked normal. But deeply in my mind, it was a fake. I was a fake husband, a fake man, and a fake father. And subsequently, because I was not genuine to myself, I was not genuine to anybody. After my divorce, I took a year to just do some soul searching. Instead of coming out to my family after my first divorce, I went ahead and got married again. And 5 years later, I was divorced for the second time. This time, I came out to my family. I was true to myself as who I was, but now, this time, I wasn't accepted by my family and by most of my friends. And after my transition, I became 50-50 accepted by society and by the people I dated. But the problem was, I didn't know how to convey love and show love. I didn't know what it was. Even though I'm happy with myself, I had to relearn and look at my past. And on the love section, on the love side, I had to go back and look and see, because I couldn't continue to be shallow, to treat people only on the surface. Okay? Shallow means to only navigate the surface and never go deep to find out what people meant to me on a deeper level, on the level of the heart, where love is. Love is not words. Love has always been action. A lot of men in a marriage, they convey love differently. They may say I love you, they may not say I love you, but they do express love on a different side. That side is the action side. When I finally learned love, I started doing things for the people I love. I did things, I made a home look more beautiful. I made my garden more beautiful. I showed love more deeply. And some days I felt there was something missing. A side of me was still saying, hey, I'm going to go to the mall today and buy something beautiful for my wife or my girlfriend. But giving on a material level is also not love. Love is not buying people material things. Okay? Those are just gifts. And gifts are not love. You have to build your relationship to a loving level with understanding and acceptance and nurturing to have love. Now, when you give someone a nice gift with love behind it, you have the experience that you've built with that person and memories that you've built with that person to show them that you love them. You've made beautiful memories. Love doesn't happen overnight. And because it doesn't, I have a problem with believing love at first sight. You can fall in love with someone, but is it real love? I don't know. Maybe you have to fall in love with yourself or love yourself, respect and having dignity to even give love and respect to the person you're with. So this is in a nutshell for me. I've been through so many things in my life. I've been through heartbreak with my transition. I've been through heartbreak with divorces. I've been through heartbreak with rejection. And here today, here I am in another relationship. And am I going about it the right way? Because everybody handles love different. When you're in a transgender relationship, with another woman who may be gay or bisexual, they may even perceive and give love differently. My girlfriend, who I've been dating for 2 months, expresses love differently. She doesn't believe in being, she doesn't care to express love and closeness in public. She has a problem getting real close in public because there might be some discomfort in being in a gay relationship in public because of the violence that's associated with people who are against gay people or transgender people. We're living in very, very stressful times these days, with politics playing ping pong with the LGBTQ community. And it's causing a lot of rift in society. It's giving society something to think about. You know? I don't like politics being mixed with family and relationships, gay marriages, straight marriages. It's no place for politics to be. And religious leaders expressing what's right or wrong in society. I don't buy into all that. I just want to be happy because every day in my relationship, I'm learning a lot about myself and how to be. I'm understanding that I'm not always going to get everything my way. I'm not always going to get everything my way, and I'm learning to also look at my partner's point of view as well. In the past, I never did that so much. I was too shallow. So I've been working it with myself these past 20 years to evolve and be a better, loving, understanding person. That's what this video is all about, and I hope it resonates with you somehow. If it does, share my video. If you're a first-time subscriber, share that and help me build my channel, because these subjects and topics, I'm not the only one that's experiencing it. I hope you guys have a nice 4th of July. Be talking to you guys soon.